Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name's Lizzie. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks so much for joining me today. I have just returned on Tuesday from a week of very spontaneous travel. A couple weeks ago, I was on the phone on Viber with my grandmother, and she just seemed really down, and so I very spontaneously and last minute booked a round-trip flight to see her in Lithuania. It was like 3 days in advance or something like that. I got a really good deal. I was super flexible with dates since I was just going to work remote from Vilnius, and I got really lucky with tickets. I got a round-trip ticket for $500 to Vilnius and booked it. Obviously, I'm very privileged to be able to travel internationally on such last minute, and I'm very lucky with the work that I do too, that I was able to work remote, so I didn't have to take any time off, and went to go visit my grandmother, who has been such a huge part of my life. And obviously now living in the States and her living in Lithuania, it's hard to see each other that often. You know, it's not like she lives down the street. I went to go see her a couple of years ago, I think in spring of 2023 last. We talk on the phone, obviously, FaceTime on Viber, but I don't get to see her much, and just, you know, it brings me such joy to be able to do something like this that's, you know, totally crazy, just to make her happy, and she was so happy that I came out. So I flew out, like I said, very last minute. I had to be flexible with dates to get a good deal, and so I was there for about 5 full days, and we just spent a lot of quality time together, watched Eurovision, ate a lot of home-cooked meals. I think we only ate at home, and she cooked for me, which made her so happy, and I'm very well fed, which when you're at your grandparents is exactly what you're supposed to do. So just a really wholesome week exploring Vilnius, hanging out with my grandma, and just reconnecting with Lithuania as well. Fun fact, I was actually born in Vilnius. My mother's Lithuanian. My grandmother lived with us for probably the first 15 years of my life, when we moved around a lot. So she came along with us and just was a huge part of my upbringing. Lithuanian was my first language. And going back to Lithuania is a really strange experience, because growing up outside of the cultures of your parents, my father was German, my mother is Lithuanian, and I collectively only spent 5 years in both of those countries during my childhood and grew up all over many other continents. And although I, you know, speak the language and have my roots there, it is strange coming. It's not really the same thing as coming home, you know? So there's just a lot there, but the apartment that she lives in, my family has had for as long as I've been around. So for me, it's probably the closest thing I have to like a childhood home. And every time we're there, it's been like unchanged essentially for the past 30 years. And every time I'm there, it's just this nostalgia kick. And this time was no exception. So I love being there. This time on the trip, I really set a goal for myself to also try to engage more in Lithuanian. Lithuania is one of those countries where if you don't know that it exists, you might have never heard it before this video. And Lithuanian is just a language that only works for Lithuanians. It's not like Russian, where it's a little bit more versatile. You can speak Lithuanian with Lithuanians. And I, in my lifetime, have only met one other Lithuanian who I went to uni with, and knew for like a couple of years. But apart from that, the only person I have ever in my life spoken Lithuanian to regularly is my grandmother. And you know, if you are bi or multilingual, it's so hard. You know, you just don't have a lot of practice and use for. And so my Lithuanian has always been something that I've been self-conscious about, and I speak to my grandmother, obviously, but there's a lot of sort of vocabulary that's missing where we just don't talk about certain things. Like when I was there, I was trying to explain to someone how black walnut trees like emit a toxin into the ground that makes it hard for other plants to grow around them. And these are just words I've never in my life used in Lithuanian, so I just don't have them in there. Honestly, I don't really even understand how Lithuanian is stored in my brain. I'd love to see like an MRI of how it's firing when I'm speaking Lithuanian, because it's a language that I learned almost exclusively orally for my grandmother. I can read and write Lithuanian only to the extent that it's very phonetic. I don't really know anything about Lithuanian grammar. I have the vocabulary that I use a lot and sort of, learn new words, obviously, when I'm using them, but it's just kind of there and comes out when I call on it. It's super bizarre. But anyway, I went to Lithuania and we went out and I was talking Lithuanian to strangers and felt very proud of myself. So I did put together sort of a mini montage vlog of some Vilnius memories, which I'll show here as well, which was mostly, again, just spending really quality time with my grandmother. So before I start blabbing on, let's cue the montage with my cutie grandma and some of the things that we got up to while I was in Vilnius over the past week. watched Eurovision together. I didn't even realize that it was going on at the same time. It was just perfectly aligned with the week that I was there. Stayed up super late, crazy girls, got a bottle of non-alcoholic sparkling rosé, did sheet masks, laughed hysterically, watched Eurovision. My grandmother's favorite was actually JJ, who did win the Eurovision from Austria. Lithuania, I think, ended up placing 16th, but it was the first year in Eurovision history where all 3 Baltic states, so Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, all made it through to the final together. That's just never happened in Eurovision history, which I thought was a pretty cool thing to be there for. I also just want to highlight, I think I noted it in the montage, but my grandmother, a couple of years ago, I got her first like diamond dot picture painting. And I just picked it up randomly because I thought she might like it. Kind of like a grid system, so each like pixel on the picture has a designated color, and then you get these little rhinestones with each set dedicated to each color, so they're like coded on these tiny little rhinestone dots on these huge pictures sometimes. And you essentially kind of pick them up and they stick to the paper to create a big picture at the end when it all comes together. And so this has been her thing for the past 2 or 3 years. She's gotten them framed, she's given them as gifts. And so when I went over, I bought 6 or 7 new ones to bring over. She will, like a job, sit down to work on them in the morning, and she like works throughout the day, gets up, takes breaks, and she does such a good job with them too. It's great for, you know, your eyes and like your hand-eye coordination, and it just takes a lot of patience that like I probably wouldn't have for a craft like that, but she's just loving it. So that's what she's holding up. If you had no idea what those diamond dots are, she's a big fan of those pictures. I also wanted to show some of the linens that I got at Linen Tales. I wish I'd gotten a shot of the inside of all the things that they have. We went there for the first time the last time we went to Vilnius, and Lithuania is very well known for its linen. And so they have clothes and tableware, and I don't think they have bedding, but like everything you can think of for a kitchen, and tablecloths and table runners and washcloths. It's a beautiful store. It's really beautifully curated, and the one thing that I really love about the store is that they have just the most beautiful prints on linen. So when I was thinking of gifts that I could bring back, I only flew with a carry-on, so I had to be very mindful of space because I was really low on it. So I went in there and then I saw these beautiful kitchen towels. I just wanted to show some of them. If you ever are in Lithuania, I highly recommend checking them out. They're right in Old Town, and they're all made in Lithuania. Like, look at this beautiful, this is sort of kind of like a stone washed linen base, and then it has this almost like a watercolor print of these beautiful florals. I did get one plain one for us. This is ours. I guess I could probably open this to show it since I'm keeping it. And they're nice and big, and I just loved that color, sort of like a nice ochre. This is probably my favorite print, another sort of watercolor style. Like, look how beautiful that is. I've never seen any fabric print that looks this beautiful. Literally looks like someone hand watercolored onto the kitchen towels. I think we are keeping one of these as well. Let's see what some of the other prints I got. And then I got this one as well, which has this beautiful botanical blueprint that kind of reminded me of beautiful porcelainware. So I picked one out for everyone on the list, brought these home. Such a great gift. So overall, it was just a beautiful 5 days that I got to spend with my grandma. Really a lot of quality time spent at home, hanging out. It was very rainy for most of the trip, so we worked around the weather to sort of kind of do fun things and walk around and go to the ballet and spend a lot of time just hanging out together and cooking and eating, and it was very special, and I'm very glad that I got to make such a spontaneous fun trip to go see her. So that's what I've been up to this past week. Let me know if you've been to Vilnius in the comments, or if Lithuania is on your travel list. Feel free to check out my other videos around sobriety and other vlogs that I have up as well. I am still recovering from jet lag a little bit, but I definitely wanted to get this video out this week. So thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more sobriety and travel and adventure content. I so appreciate you being here. That's it for me today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day or week or weekend whenever you're watching this, and hopefully I will see you in a future video. Until then, sending so much love your way.